Alright then, so hello, I'm here in the wilds of Wales, and we come across, if you see on the tree in front of me, there's this bracket fungus known as the birch polypore fungus. Now, a caveman would use this fungus for all kinds of different things, such as because they have antiviral properties, they have anti-inflammatory properties, but most of all, when set on fire, they burn for hours. So when cavemen had a fire and they put some of this on it, and it would burn for ages, like, sort of glowing embers, and they could literally carry it around with them, and they could take the fire from place to place. So when they got settled down for the night at the other location, they could use it to start another fire. Am I boring you? Yes, let's go. Which way? Ow! I'm Choccieboy Attenborough, and I have seen many things in my long 15 years of living. None such thing compares to this very flower here, called the French Harala. It's not actually French, you'll say. It's actually native to East Asia, which means here in Wales. It should be here, meaning we are all idiots. You see, the human species has taken plants from all over the world and mixed them together until it's started to explode and kill each other. So this sort of behaviour is dangerous, and one day we shall all die. Stop filming it! So I'm now here in an abandoned wood mining vicinity. And if you look behind me, you will see masses of dead trees. You'll see these trees have been cut down and placed here, purely for no other reason than to look ugly. Now this shocks me to my core, and I shall officially be going on strike from presenting in front of such vile scenes for many years to come now. See, behind me here now is one combustion engine car. These very devices have been the downfall of the natural world for many years now. And it's because if you look at the back, there shall be an exhaust, and there should be loads of black smoke coming out, like when you spew at a party or something, which happens to me a lot, obviously. Well, these fumes have caused the greatest effect. Why are you getting so close? Move back, cameraman. Thank you. These effects have driven many species to extinction on our planet, and may well be the downfall of us in the future. Here we observe the hogweed. Now you can't see any here now, but once there were hogweed bonking beetles all over this plant, all over this hogweed. Now hogweed bonking beetles, also known as the red soldier beetles, get their name because they love hogweed, just the hogweed bit, and they love to bonk each other. Basically, they're dirty gits. That is what I'm saying. And I can't see any now, so they've all left, and they're annoying. You see, after around 200 years of many human infrastructures, we are beginning to see devastation on this planet in a way that we've never seen before. But we can still do things sustainably, reverse this damage we have caused. It's not too late, because it's in our hands, as well as the hands of our soul world leaders like Boris Johnson. We can still do stuff. We see a beautiful garden, very environmentally friendly. Clearly not! So, if anyone is confused about anything you've seen in this video, I want to know how you can help the planet. My advice is, know stuff, do stuff. Very wise words, if I do say so myself. The thing is, there are many challenges that this generation will have to face.
Oh shit!
You bloody idiot!
Oh no, I'm sorry.
I quit!
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to fall. It was an accident.
Okay.
Sir Attenborough, I'm really sorry. No, please don't hurt me, please. Please.
Hello. I am Sir Choccieboy by Attenborough, and I'm here on this coastal edge observing the fireweed. This pink flower around here that is very common in many wetland areas, and you can see it in a lot of places, a lot of wildlife conservation areas that involve wetlands, such as the Dovey Osprey project, which I once visited. And it's here on this coastal edge, like I've said, and standing even this far back within the stinking heat that it is, I can smell it. It smells very much of turds, and that is not a pleasant smell, therefore I will be leaving the premises now. So, now we are going to check out the hogweed, which was also present in the last episode, and we're going to see if there are any hogweed bonking beetles there this time. Where the hell have they gone? As you saw in those devastating scenes, I think it is fair to come to the conclusion that the hogweed flowering season is indeed over. Now, behind me here in this harbour, we get a different angle from the harbour now. But there are many storage boxes there, and as you can see, there is also a boat to the right of the storage boxes. There are people on board and sailing boats. These sailing boats were very present in our past in terms of transportation, and maybe also present in our future, seeing as we need to go sustainable again. This is a very sustainable practice. But also, you may see out here the storage boxes. There are many buoys, which is also a good sunbathing spot for seals. Now, some seals are very lazy, so they like to hop up onto these storage boxes and have a snooze and a sunbathe in the sun. Now, they do this to warm up, because the sea, very flipping cold, and they need warming up, because they do. Now, alarming for many wimps, perhaps, is the idea that this harbour behind me is also a good place to see seals. Now, mainly elder seals. As you can tell, the seal's age usually based on the colour of its skin, or its blubber, on its outer layer of blubber, which gradually gets darker over time. Therefore, the darker ones are the older ones, as they've spent more time lying in the sun, in the storage boxes over there, getting a tan. Obviously, very scientific. Seals love vitamin D. On the ground here, in many places on this earth, we can see grass. Now, grass is an important middleman in a chain reaction that would happen if we lost our rocks. You see, because if we have no rocks, we would have no minerals. And if we had no minerals, we would have no mud. And if we would have no mud, we would have no grass. And if we would have no grass, we'd have no cows. With no cows, there would be no milk. Without milk, there'd be no ice cream. As we can see, I have wings, but also, see what else has wings? Wind turbines. As you can probably see one over there, over the house turbines are an important part of becoming sustainable with electricity. Sustainable electricity, as many urban areas such as this use up a lot of electricity and are overall very polluting places. However, they are also good for containing this pollution and containing the human population. We don't destroy more woodland to build houses that are better dispersed. So in theory, containing the population to these sorts of areas is a good idea. Now this very rock, this very standing stone, was once struck by lightning, you see, and as it happened, the local boys who were watching the lightning momentarily did a little poopy in their pants, and it was at this moment that they started to run for their lives. And who can blame them? For this sort of power cannot be generated by humans. Now then, one more reason for humans' destruction of the natural world is crafts and all kinds of machinery for war, and war in general. Because when people are at war, they often do not care about the why are you getting so close? But the cameraman getting too close to you. They often do not care about the wildlife that may be affected in the way of its path. Now, this incredible feat of human engineering is also known as a children's play park. Now, I will now demonstrate how to use this in a safe and productive manner whilst telling you a story about my friend Alfred. You see, Alfred was a very one day he went and shat himself, and then when he was out, he just sort of I'm getting off there, I'm juiced. Right then, so I'm here in front of this slope. This very unnatural slope, as you can see. Now, this slope was placed here in the year God knows when, and it will be removed in the year God knows how. So, my only advice to you involving this slope is don't roll down it, because after you feel dizzy and you feel like someone who's had a few too many pints of lager. Now I'm going to reenact that feeling right now, so you don't have to. Hello, I'm Chucky by Knoxville. Welcome to Jackass. Now, as you see, we've come to the end of this episode of our planet. It's been a journey, both physically, but also Oh, hi, Owain. You alright? Yeah. What, you reckon DankHyphen stole your video? You want him to be killed?
Oh, fuck. No,
sure.
No.
Will do.
What is Owain doing, bro?
What the hell is that?
What do you mean? What do you mean something there? Man, that's bullshit. There's nothing there. Wait. Where'd he go? No, sorry.
I am Sir Choccieboy Attenborough, and today I'm going to be embarking on a journey into the wilds of Wales. Now, in many places where ivy is present, you may also find this. There is pennywort. And now this is mentionable because it's edible. Now I'm going to go eat a load of this and get very fat. Now, behind me you can probably see the lower place in which we shall be visiting today. in my hand you can see a leaf known as sorrel, which is found along paths such as this, and it is also edible. Lovely. Now, my only advice when picking these leaves that are edible is to make sure that they're high enough up so dogs, the filthy gits, have not pissed on them. Or shat on them. Hello, I'm here in the lower place, and behind me is an boat. Now, boats like this are often used by humans as a sustainable way of transport, and they're only sustainable when, like this boat, there is an sail. Now, when they use an sail, it makes it sustainable as they are using wind power to power the boat directly. And it's like a practice that was used by our ancestors many moons ago. Right then, behind me here is an lime kiln. Now, you may find many of these dotted about the coast, as this is where lime was imported from other places. I have no idea what these are used for, but I've seen them all over the place. Do your own research, because Google exists, you lazy git. Blackberries. That one, and someone was already living in that. Right here is the mouth of the river. Now, you might see that up there, well, you probably won't be able to see because the camera's cracked, but there are many sleeping ducks on the bank. Now, these ducks, like me, like to sleep in on a Saturday, and however, unlike me, they do not get dragged around town by DankHyphen. One thing I have indeed noticed recently is my friend Lizzie has indeed kicked the bucket. Now, following this news, I will deeply miss the many times me and her, many hours we spent together at the pub. However, you know, life goes on, and yeah, forget that bit. So I'm here in the shitter, and it bloody stinks. So I'm going to be leaving now, and possibly spewing on the way out. Alright, so I'm here in a very precarious position. It's not good. I don't know why I've put myself here. I don't know why you're filming me. I'm leaving now. Goodbye. So, on the ground currently, we have a substance that mildly resembles dog shizer. This is known as sand, which is made up from ground up rocks. But of course, you all know this, probably, I hope so. If not, you are most likely American. So now we are here in front of Donald Trump's wall. Now then, we are here because we've run out of ideas and we're both idiots. So that's about all the commentary I have to add. Now look at think of how many people could get over there if you just had a trampoline or a cattle prod. Now we'll get you over there. So there's rugby going on around here. She stinks. That's about all I have to add. And I'm going to get out of here ASAP because it looks like a very dodgy location. And it looks like someone behind me. And it looks like someone getting stabbed. Yeah. So, we've come to the end of this video, and I'm currently still out in the wilderness, as you can see, and I'm definitely not behind a green screen because we have to run in since it's raining or anything like of that sort. And I'm sure in the future this video will be looked back on as a definitely not at all cringy piece of art. Now, having said that, I'm going to go now. Goodbye.
I'm sure many of you watching this video before in your life have seen the mystical plantation known as grass. And if you haven't, then maybe you should go outside and touch it. You can't say that about anything else, alright? Because don't quote me on that. I'm going to give you a demonstration of what this grass touching would look like. Simples. People who have not done this may experience many severe symptoms like wanting to be an arsehole on the internet, or that's all I can think of really, to be honest. Now, grass comes in many forms. It can be green. That's about it, to be honest. Yeah, that's about the variety we have here. And remember, those who cut the grass are those who have cut the shit. I'm going, right, why, it was your idea to make a stupid video about grass. The bar's not high on this channel, is it? Jesus.
I am Sir Choccieboy Attenborough.
And I am OwainsTrains.
Did anyone ask you?
Yes.
Didn't think so. And today we are up the Preseli Mountains.
In the wilds of Wales.
In Pembrokeshire. And you can see some of the mountains up there. Now, you can't see a lot of them because of the mist. Why is it misty? Tell me.
Because low cloud has a tendency to descend here during the winter months, which makes it very vulnerable, especially the higher places, to something called cloud cover.
Absolute waffle. Anyway, it is also very, very, very windy. Now then. However, behind me, you can see some wetlands behind some OwainsTrains there. There is wetland. Now this wetland is very wet, hence the name. Now there's lots of moisture that accumulates from the mountains down here. They form streams that will eventually form the River Gwaun and meander through the Gwaun Valley and eventually find its way to the sea at Fishguard, which is absolutely disgusting.
It's absolutely disgusting! Here we see some bluestone, and I'm not talking about the water park. Now, these bluestones are thought to be one of the foundations, the building blocks of what is currently Stonehenge, which is the actual stones that were used to build Stonehenge could be seen over the hill over there. Well, they can't be seen now, they're in Wiltshire. Nobody's really sure how these stones got to Stonehenge's site. Some say they were carted around on sledges, but nobody invented the wheel back then. Some say aliens brought these bluestones from here all the way to Stonehenge's site, but no one can conclusively prove that aliens actually exist, which makes us wonder, are we alone in this universe?
Surrounding me here are gorse bushes. Now, these bushes are known for sometimes catching fire, and when they do this, these fires are known as gorse fires, believe it or not. Now you can see they have flowers, and in the summer months these flowers turn bright yellow, and you can actually eat them, and they taste like coconut, believe it or not. Now, I'm not going to eat these ones because I could spew, and if I spew, I'll spew all over DankHyphen's dad's car, and I don't want that because then it'll stink. So yeah.
So, you may spot the bird known as seagull, and because I lack primitive nature knowledge. I can't tell you the genus and the species of the seagull. But what I can tell you is that seagulls don't tend to inhabit mountainous areas such as the land you see behind me. They tend to inhabit the coast, which is why they are called seagulls. Now, I do not know why DankHyphen wanted me to talk about seagulls, but I can't see a single f***ing seagull in this entire area.
Right. As you saw in that last clip, there are some severe nutters around here, including one in a seagull mask and one behind a camera. Now, get out of the way, the magic mushies! So basically, here, I'm not sure what their Latin name is, but they're known on the streets today as magic mushrooms. Now, these mushies, if there's anyone watching this wondering, it is not illegal to film them. It is only illegal to pick them or to consume them. We have done neither of those things, therefore we are not breaking the law. Don't come after me, PC, whatever the hell you are. Okay? Now, the thing about these is that when you eat them, you're basically on drugs, because that's what they are, drugs. And you might end up like spewing in a bath or something. And basically, my advice is don't do drugs, kids. These magic mushies can be found all over these mountains, and this is why every time you're walking you will always end up seeing one person that looks slightly like a crackhead who's rubbing their arms and all around being very nuts. Okay? That explains a lot, because DankHyphen is here and he fits that criteria very well. Yo. Below us here, as you can see, is a body of water, very small body of water. Now then, this body of water has come from an pipe which has come up from the mountains.
The first portion of the pipe has collapsed, as you may see, but the furthermost part of the pipe, you may be able to see some two big, great red eyes, the size of dishwashers.
What a load of shizer. Anyway, this water is a fascinating business because it's grey. This means that there could well be turds within its midst, or there could well be slate, or even steel. This is water contamination, and it is very bad.
Apparently so.
It could just be like normally that colour, but hey, that's not very entertaining, is it?
Like in my other video where I went to Tredegar House, the river from the River Ebu was this colour, so it may be down to the soil which the river is over.
Over. That is very correct.
You can't go under it, you can't go over it, you've got to go through it.
Anyway, I'm now going to send. You told me not to do that, so you know, you sort of have to, don't you? Hello, we are here, stood in the door to nowhere on the side of Wainmawr. We are located we're now on the north end of the Preseli Mountains, just north of the ridge, as you can see here, and you can see below the ridge you have these wetland area.
Nobody is really quite sure how the dip was formed,
Jesus,
except for geologists. Now, geologists and geographers say that this dip was caused by a glacier. Now, glaciers don't come up here anymore because it is too warm, thanks to global warming. So we now have, but thanks to global warming, we now have this lovely view of a dip in the Preseli Mountains.
That's a scientific term, by the way, dip. So we are here located in a field. As you can see behind us,
yes, it's very nice. This
one
is very
Mr. Trains suggested that it was once a village, but however, I only think that the landowner is now watching us with his beady eyes out of his house, while slowly grabbing his shotgun and making his way towards us in a manner that may suggest we don't have long left. So I'm going to get out of it personally. Jesus.
Thankfully, shotgun is a sort of a form of weapon, so he can be arrested because I die.
Up on these hills, it is mainly made of farmland. Now on these farmland you have a lot of sheep, but a lot of horses, one might notice. I am standing next to one of the residents now, and I'm going to give who has agreed to this interview. So, what is it like to live in such a spectacular location like this?
Nay.
after this intelligent answer, I think we need to. That's all we've got time for today. So I'm afraid that this is the end of this interview, and good night.
So, behind me here is some logs, which appear to be made out of, it appear to be made from some fence. This fence has been made out of some logs.
You don't know what you're talking about.
I know exactly what I'm talking about. So these logs, now there's like a fence here. There's a fence.
And it's far. Right, come on then.
Come on then, bud. Let's go. Let's go. We are real men. Go on. Yeah. Go on. Jog on. Go on. Jog on. That's the high road. On the high road. Oh.
If you've gone downhill like I'm about to. What is this? I got a magic trick, okay? I got a magic trick. Look, I can fly. Watch this.
I think I won that.
Pretty penny. Done.
Bloody hell!
That was a bit mental.
We shouldn't have done that.
Nah,
That was terrible.
it was disgraceful.
Is that the end of part 1?
Yes.
Now, as you can see on this plaque of wood behind me, there are many carvings depicting the burial chamber here, and many other random things that people have made up, probably because they got bored one day, because it's a Stone Age, not much to do. So what do you do? I know, carve some random patterns into some wood. That seems like a good idea. In all seriousness, though, this is actually, I don't know where this has come from, and there's nothing on the sign about it, as far as I'm aware. But it's fascinating that it's ended up here. I think we should be very grateful for it. The folklore in this area suggests that you can often see fairies in this area that often resemble little children wearing uniforms, wearing army uniforms, and even red caps. So then, for example of little children, there's one behind me. He's a little short ass. Anyway, another thing worth mentioning is this blue stone, is the rock I'm sitting on now, and what the burial chamber is made out of. Ooh, there's a red kite. Wow. Anyway, this blue stone is the same stone that was used to create Stonehenge, and to transport the stone all the way from here in Wales all the way over to Wiltshire in England. Now, this is a common theme because, Wales goes and gets a lovely, beautiful burial chamber, and England has to copy us and do the same. This is a very common theme. For example, Wales have gone and got a good rugby team, and England have failed to copy this one. Yeah. What would if farmers wouldn't burn all the shizer in there? They'd chuck all the shizer in. Look at that, that's brown. Minging. Good. Thank God. I'm in the right place finally. Melon for Gwent. That's what it is. Now, as you might have seen there in those clips, or the clips that are on screen now, that is Melons for Gwent. Now, Melons for Gwent is a woolen mill. That's what the melon is, mill. And yes, they are in fact in operation today. I've never seen them in operation before because there has been a lot of rain recently. It was bloody rain, which is why I've got this on me. on the tree here, on this hedge, you may see sloth. Now these sloths are edible. They're almost ripe, and the thing about them is they have this ability to suck all of the moisture out of your mouth, and your mouth feels drier than a. I'm not finishing that sentence actually. So here goes. We're going to try one. I don't have the ability to swallow anything, so there's that. Yeah, wouldn't recommend it, to be honest. So do you want one?
No, I'm good, thanks.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's lovely. Now this is Aberbach. It is very small, hence the name. Bach is the Welsh word for small. And here is the river, which gives it its Aber name, which of course means mouth of the river. Now, the thing is, OwainsTrains like to point this out a lot, that on the other side at Attenborough, the river that goes out there is bigger than the one that comes out here. So whoever came up with the names is a bit of a dingus, really. Yeah. But there is many reeds, possibly a few snakies, and all in all a wonderful habitat for creatures. Yeah. Okay, so here we can observe some pebbles, okay, that I've been told to talk about. Don't really know anything about pebbles, other than, and in this case, they can be very sharp. As we can see here, this is part of a pebble. Piss off. And most of them are rounded because of the way they've been impacted. It's made the surface very smooth. The way they've been moved along up and down the beach, which is creating these waves that's formed by the sea, and they've been deposited in a certain manner that's caused these shapes both in the pebbles themselves and the beach itself. I don't know, I literally just thought of that on the spot, so like, you know, there's that. DankHyphen is a nut job and he can't write scripts. So, this blackberry is in fact not black because it's not yet ripe, which is a good sign, because when the blackberries become ripe, it's the first sign of winter. However, contrary to popular belief, you can actually eat these, although they are very sour, which is why I like them. That's much better than the sloth. Bloody hell. You can actually eat that. Okay, so there are some. Yeah. I'm breaking character. There's some ripe. Here's a ripe one, and I'm going to see how it compares. Also delicious. Everyone must bear in mind when picking these, never pick them below waist height, because otherwise some filthy dogs pissed on them. I actually can't stop eating these now, it's pissing me out. Okay, so we are here on what doesn't look like it, but is in fact a cliff edge. Now this may be very deceiving for many who want to, you know, dive into a bush of bush of gorse, as you do, but they will find themselves tumbling down to the little beach that is in between Abermawr and Aberbach, which I hereby affectionately name Abertiny, because it is about the size of my don't put that in. That's not going to end well. It's Attenborough! I think I might have forgotten to take my NPC written this morning. Speaking of which, have you heard of NPC? Oh god, I'm not doing this stupid sponsor thing. It's like Raid Shadow Legends all over again. Probably shouldn't chuck that away. That's not mine. For God's sake, why do I have to do this? Always, every day, every week. I always get my dignity gets dragged through the mud. So, we are here on Attenborough Beach. It is bigger than Attenborough, which means only one thing, and that is that OwainsTrains' theory is in fact stupid. Now, looking behind me, you can see there is many grains of sand, since it's low tide, as opposed to the rocks forming the rest of the beach, and indeed the entire beach at high tide. Now, for anyone that doesn't know, sand is actually just very minute, small rocks. I mean, who doesn't know? I swear we've already been over this. What the hell's going on? But it is a lovely place to come, have a swim. My lawyers told me I'm not allowed to have a swim today for some reason, insurances and all that, so, you know. Yeah. Insurance, joking, I don't have insurance, I'm not that rich. Jesus Christ. Here we are, under Am Tree, and here is a tiny spot of lichen. Now this lichen likes to attach itself to trees, such as this one, and speaking as free, some nut job has carved their name into it. Psychopath. And yes, because they are one of the parasites, by definition only, that grows on trees. Now, they also grow on cars. It grows on my car. And it pisses me off! It actually looks quite nice, to be fair, though. So there's that. Oh, blackberry! Speaking of trees, we are currently in the Bluebell Woods. And there's quite a lot of trees here in the woods. And unfortunately, there are no bluebells, because we're too bloody late in the season. But there are when it's in the season, and that's very nice. And yes, it's a good place. It's a very fantastic place for a walk, like we're doing now. That's about it. So I'm currently in the middle of a cow field. I don't want to raise my voice because, you know, I don't want to alarm any of the cattle that are around. Because recently I got charged at by a cow, and if I was with OwainsTrains, we had to hop a fence, an electric fence, and that was not a fun experience. So trying to keep the sort of alarmingness to a minimal. Right there. So we're currently being pursued by the cow, and thank you very much for watching. I'm gonna have to go now because I'm a bit preoccupied. I'm gonna have to fight it off this. Oh Jesus. Yes, it was very nice doing this shiznit, and yes, DankHyphen is a knob. Hello there, I am Sir Choccieboy Attenborough, and I am back here today to give you another episode of Our Planet. Today we're here in Aber Forest. We're going to go looking for some stuff. You're going to learn a lot about life, and you will not know the answer to the question, why is my hair all of a sudden extremely long? There we are. Now, on the ground in front of me, you may see a pothole that is as deep as the Mariana Trench. This is a very common thing on this island, as maintenance is pretty much non-existent, and we enjoy potholes apparently,
because it's a core value of what makes you British. On the ground I'm standing on is mud. It may look like shit, but it's actually, well, actually some of it might be shit given how many cows around here. But anyway, shit is not mud, and mud is not shit, because you can throw mud at people and they think it's just shit, and then they start screaming and throw scissors at you, which has happened to me a few times, and that's why there's a sort of mark on my forehead. On this hedgerow in front of me, you might see a big long bramble, or as I like to call them, stingy wingies. Now on these plants, berries grow, and once these blackberries are ripe, this is a sure sign that winter is upon us. Well, that summer is over, winter may be upon us, and we're about to go through a 7-month period of depressing darkness, which is what you want to think about. Also on these hedgerows are many ferns I've seen, and I've got people who claim that they've seen snakes hiding along here, and, or as I like to call them, hissy bitey bities. Now, if one were to spring out at me, I would run for the nearest chair and stand on it and scream for the next 5 years. So we are here on the ground like little bush rats. Look down here, you can see stingy nettles. Now some people get these confused with brambles, but the way to tell the difference, I find, the main difference is that the stingy nettles sting and the brambles also sting. But you can also, there's a method of picking these up and even eating them if you do so wish, which I imagine is what everyone wants me to see me attempt, and probably sting myself. So here we go. Now you see, the thing with this is that I have not stung myself at all here, because I've used this method, and now I'm going to rub it a bit. And once I've done that, it should have lost its sting, and it should be good to eat. It tastes like cucumber. That tastes like a very, skibbity Riz Ohio Giat Phantom Tax Among Us. I feel like a complete and utter incel right now. I had to, somebody kill me. Here are the ferns, as mentioned earlier. Now they are beginning to go brown, which is another sign of the coming depression, where as somebody who gets told he looks like Kurt Cobain might have to sort of resort to the, I'm not saying that, but winter is coming. Jon Snow. The 7-month depression is on the horizon. Nights are drawing in. Be aware. This sign is not only my friend, but it is a sign. It is a sign of things to come. It is a sign that indicates where you can walk legally, and because the majority of places are owned, the 95% of Wales is owned by shotgun-toting farmers who tell you to get off their land. So these are very important, that to make sure that people don't get shot, and it keeps, but somehow the get off my land crew still get angry. Don't know why I'm speaking like them now. And this pissed me off. Because if we live in a free country, how come we're not free to go wherever we want, you know? How come we always have to get trampled by cows? It's annoying. Cows everywhere. I'm traumatised by cows. Especially after the last episode. That was a very traumatic experience. I need to go cool off. We are here in a field by the sea, where as we observe dandelions. Now the tradition with these is to count to 3 and make a wish. 1, 2, 3. Wouldn't recommend that, to be honest with you. So, I'm here, standing on a bridge, and I want to talk to you about the river. I'm not talking about the Bruce Springsteen album, I'm talking about this concept right in front of me. And as you get further and further away from me, you can see the greater amount of this river. You can see its landscape, and you might even be able to see in one of these shots the seaweed that lies within it. Now, seaweed is busy here, not living up to its name as seaweed, but it is in fact now riverweed, apparently, with bits of sticks in floating with it. But seaweed can also help us in our diets, because in many places there are now kelp farms where kelp is becoming grown more and more and eaten by us humans. Now this is a good source of food, as it is a very sustainable source of food, and it doesn't involve any cows farting, which is very good. Here we are, filming other people's property again. These, if you weren't aware, are boats. Now, boats are used for transport, and in this case, when they have sails, they are used for sustainable transport, which is a fantastic concept. It involves travelling from place to place without destroying the planet, which is fun. So, if we were to move our transport system to a system that was like this, all of our issues would be solved. We find ourselves on the brink of a bush. Now, lots of life can be in these meadowless landscapes, because that's definitely a word. It is. They provide 97% of meadows in the UK have been lost. So they are very important lands for creatures, for small creatures, for insects, for small mammals such as mice, and for bees. Now, bees. Look at these bright flowers. It's very attractive to things like bees, and it is a very important reason in the cycle of life as they get spread about the place like little flying. What are you looking at, you nutter? Bees can fly up to 40 miles an hour. They're speedsters, and they're like little delivery drivers, dropping off all the little seeds and spreading around these flowers, spreading the plants, sorry. Now, we were going to film this section in the woods, however, the imbecilic ocean-going knob face that is the cameraman did not bring the right footwear by any means. You can see his toes, and it makes me very uncomfortable, quite frankly. And
He's chickened out, and we're instead doing it under a single tree. But quite frankly, you would not have any idea that we weren't in the middle of the woods if I weren't telling it you right now by accident. Goodbye, folks. We've come to the end of our long and winding, mystical journey, and hopefully we've tied up all the loose ends, drawn all the conclusions necessary. It's been an emotion. Well, it's been a journey. It's been an interesting journey. Thank Christ it's over. Yes, we're going to leave you now with this emotional pit of brambles, which might be a symbol of something. Yes. Goodbye.
Hello.
Who are you?
Be not afraid, child. It is I, Lord Bojangles.
Alright, what are you doing here, mate?
I'm here to tell you that your free trial life will expire in 1 minute. And if you want to continue life for the next 100 years guaranteed, buy my premium subscription for the low cost of £200 a month.
I was using my grandmother's account. What do you mean?
Well, I'm afraid we have decided to crack down on password sharing because I want more money, basically.
Well, screw you.
I am sorry, child. You are not an exception. You will go to Brazil.
Never.
Goodbye, child.
This sign is not only a sign, but it is a sign. Yeah, ooh, there's a dog. Hello. Oh, look, there's a human. Hello. A sign.
Wait, hang on. Go.
Next to me is a sign.